Hello, my name is Ricardo Garcia, and I'm an assistant professor at the University of Tilburg at the Fiscal Institute of Tilburg. In this video, I would like to show you how our International Business Taxation Law program, or LLM, is. Also, I would like to show you, or I would like to present how our program is unique. And it's unique because it combines features from tax law, from business law, from accounting, from finance. So the idea is that when you finish this LLM, you will be a fantastic tax advisor with not only a knowledge in tax, but a knowledge of the business. What are the real needs of the business? Let's say that why international taxation? What are you thinking to do a master in international taxation? Well, international taxation is fashionable. You always, when you watch TV or when you read a journal, you always hear Amazon, Starbucks, all these multinationals that do not pay taxes. Also, you realize that 60% of the world trade is in hands of multinationals. So now, as a tax advisor, you need to work with different jurisdictions in the world. It's not like in the past, when I started as a tax advisor, that I only had clients, local clients. Nowadays, it's not the case. So you need to know concepts like CFC, interest limitation rules, what is a hybrid mismatch, etc. So you need to talk to colleagues from different multinationals to understand the business carried out by multinationals. So our master has an integrated approach. As I told you at the beginning, we want you to get the knowledge to dialogue, to enter into a dialogue with the CEO, the chief financial officer, to explain the concepts, tax consequences of certain business decisions. So, for instance, you have already heard in the press about this double Irish tax sandwich. So what is our approach in our LLM? So first, we have to understand what is in place, understand the structure, the scheme. So what is a royalty? Why this company pay royalties to a Dutch company? Why the Dutch company is interposed between two Irish companies? Well, maybe it's because it has to benefit from the TT network. So second, after understanding the transaction, after understanding the scheme, the second thing is to review, analyze why is it fair, what are the tax liabilities behind this structure implemented by multinationals. And also, finally, you need to propose solutions. You need to talk to the CEO, the CFO. You need to talk to your boss. Let's say when you are working in a Big Four, and try to understand and try to propose solution alternative to minimize the tax risk, or even just simply say that this scheme is abusive, let's say. So, in a nutshell, after obtaining your degree, your LLM, you are able to understand and analyze a global tax structures. So, see which are the concepts in play, why these multinationals use debt financing and not equity, for instance, why you channel the outbound payments as royalties and not as dividends. So we want you to also develop arguments, pros and cons of this scheme, and explain and defend your position, not only before your boss, your clients, but also before the tax authorities. You need to have a solid knowledge that this is the scheme that is needed for this particular client to satisfy the business needs you have, because the transaction, the tax transaction, has an economic substance behind. And you are able to communicate your position, your opinion in a very effective way. That's very important, as I told you, because you need to engage in dialogue with other colleagues from different jurisdictions, with other lawyers, but at the end of the day, you are talking about similar concepts. How we prepare you for a successful career in international taxation? Well, our LLM has pursued the goal to combine theory and practice. So in many modules, in many courses, you will have lectures, like theoretical lectures, and then you will have tutorials. The tutorials are practical. The tutorial, we want you to debate, we want you to discuss with your colleagues solutions to practical cases. But it's also important in our master or focus in writing and presenting paper that we think is crucial for development of your career. And it's not only an academic work, but it's something that helps you to ground your ideas, to defend your claim, to argue that this position, this solution is the right solution for the client. And you are going to do a LLM in one of the best tax departments in the world and one of the largest in Europe that has many advantages because we counted with many specialists from VAT, for international taxation, from specialists in corporate tax law, accounting. So you will be pleased to receive so much knowledge and an integrated knowledge to, say, understand business. Let's go to the program. What is the program? The program divided. Well, our program is a one-year program. It's in English, and for students that don't need a background in taxation, because we start from scratch. Our International Business Taxation program is divided into two tracks: IBTE, that is economics oriented, and IBTL, that is the video I'm doing for you today, and it's law oriented, with the idea that you get a LLM degree. If we go to the course, to the modules, I would like to briefly describe which is the content of these courses. Of course, you get more information in our website. So the IBTL, in the fall and spring semester, you will have 5 courses that amount to 30 IECTs. The program starts in August. So corporate tax structures. In corporate tax structures, our focus is, of course, on corporate law, for instance, the difference between debt and equity, and we try to articulate tax consequences derived from these structures. So it's a really important course to understand the core corporate taxation in Europe, to understand how they interact with the EU freedoms, the distribution of dividends, paying interest, etc. Business taxation is a course devoted to analyze the relationship between accounting and taxation. So we focus on the principles, general principles of accounting, and how do they affect tax decisions. Business taxation and decision-making process for IBT is an important course because we try to reflect how taxation influence the decision-making in multinationals. Of course, value-added tax reveals that in international transactions, VAT is extraordinarily important to understand the consequence of the movement of goods within the Europe or without the borders, out the borders of the Union. Sorry. And international and European taxation is a course dedicated to analyze how treaties, double tax treaties, how the European freedoms, let's say free movement of capital, free movement of persons interact. Because we understand, and this is really original from our program, we combine international law, the study of the treaty network, like the model of the OECD, the UN model, with EU law on corporate EU law. Of course, you have also to take 2 courses in the following 2 tracks. We have the International Business Organization and Strategy track, which is a track oriented to business, is oriented to business law. The idea is, for instance, we have these 2 courses, International Business Law 1 and International Company Law, which are devoted to reorganizations, to analyze the difference between a partnership and a company. We also have tax and technology, which is a really interesting course, because we try to connect technology with taxation. What is the impact? What is the impact of technology taxation? And let's say privacy rules. What is how data collection, data management have influence on tax decisions? And also we have customs and international trade. That is a really important course, a new course we have designed to understand the complexity of customs in international trade of goods. But also we have the second track, where you also can pick up 2 courses. It's called globalization, with our focus is more on economic integration, let's say on WTO and EU. With this important subject, we are trying to analyze without the principles guiding WTO, the World Trade Organization, and also competition law. I think it's really important as a lawyer to understand which are the key concepts like cartel in EU competition law. And finally, after completing these 2 tracks, plus the core courses that I explained you before, the master thesis. The master thesis is really one of the essentials part of our master. It's the value amount of credits, 18 credits. And we as teachers and professors allocated to this LLM, we will help you during the 6 months process to produce a proper master thesis, a good master thesis that at the end show you an opinion grounded in good argumentation. Because it's something that, as I told you at the beginning, is really important that you, when you become a tax advisor, argue in front of your client, in front of your chief financial officer, that this is the solution, because you think that these are arguments, profit arguments. Or international business taxation is a really international program, because we have, as you can see, many nationalities involved, that you will live in Tilburg with people from different countries that will be your friends, that at the end, when you start practicing as a tax advisor, as a tax lawyer, you just simply call a colleague because you have a deal, a transaction with, for instance, a company in Finland, and you want to know how the taxation in Finland looks like. So at the end of the day, you will get knowledge from different colleagues, and that's something very enriching in our program. Talking about the career, what are you expect from what are your let's say your expectations? Well, we try to match expectations because our LLM is selected among top 10 LLMs in the world. approximately you need 1 month to get a job that is really well paid. It's 2,500 euros approximately. What I think, and we are really pleased to show this credential that 80, almost 80% will repeat the same program. So we are students are quite satisfied with the program. After completing, what do you expect, or what do you want to work, in which sector you want to work? Well, we offer positions, or we think that your skills and learning that you have already acquired in our master will help you to find a job in Big Fours, PwC, EY, KPMG, Deloitte. But also it's important that if you want to dedicate your life to this public sector, let's say, or international organization, it's also possible that you can get a job in the OECD, but also in the European Union, let's say as a trainee in the European Commission. So it's important that our master opens you doors, not only in the private sector, but also in the public sector. So just simply, before finishing this presentation, this short video about our master, I would like just to notice, to sum up saying that our master is unique because you will acquire a combined approach, taxation, accounting, business law, to understand what is the real core of the business of multinationals. It's an international program, it's in English. You will get enough knowledge, enough experience to become a successful tax advisor, a successful tax lawyer.